have people power.
Inside Story Uganda.
And when we created
Real
people
source
power,
of political
it
updates.
itself now mysteriously and organically created a candidate. The population believe that the opposition should have one candidate, even for presidential elections. The leaders have played all the kinds of politics by way of pontificating, each posing to be. It is gladiatorial in nature. Every politician wants to be higher, huge. You have talked of the criticism, my brother.
In many words, in many words, what you're trying to tell our viewer is that you are saying the National Unity Platform has swept you out of your ground as Democratic Party.
No, if anyone wanted to myopically state so, one would say yes. But for me, I believe.
How myopic would that be?
I believe that the operation of political parties has not yet been given a chance. So clearly what we have is a political sentiment against the establishment. Now, whoever wants to call those political parties, it is okay.
What kind of players are you in that sentiment?
You know what the NRM government wants, and here will also tell you. They would want us to begin behaving like political parties when we know we are not. What we are a team that feels there must be a different entity. And that entity should provide later on freedoms for political parties to flourish. Now, if you are now in a hurry to begin now fermenting opinions by way of praise and worship, parroting opinions like popinjers, then we have failed. So it is, by the way, more believable when everybody says there is a political party X and Y. It sounds even very obvious.
I've had
but
rumors.
They are registered political parties. Multipartism has not been allowed.
I've had rumors that someone called Fred Mukasa Mbidde, Honorable Doctor, former representative of this country at the East African Legislative Assembly, could also be shopping for a constituency somewhere in Masaka.
I haven't. That would be a lie.
That would be a lie.
Why would I be restricted to a constituency? Can't I be president of Uganda? You see, that is now the manner in which they channel our aspirations. To begin looking like frogs in a pot that think that the size of the sky is actually the size of the pot mouth. No. Break the pot and see that there is a huge business elsewhere. We cannot be in a hurry.
Can frogs survive after the pot has been broken and the water has disappeared? Let me move.
But you know, Honorable Mukasa just complained 2 weeks ago we're here. He said
that is what is interesting.
There are no frogs without water.
There must be sanity.
The moment you break the pot and there is no water,
we can achieve temporary wins. We can achieve.
Let's move.
But for purposes of a broader picture, I believe something else should be done.
Honorable Tinka Simire, your party, the NRM, is fielding a contender in Kawempe North. But we're looking at Kawempe North and how it sets the ground for the actual campaigns leading to next year's general elections. How do you fancy your chances?
They are slim, but we can make it. To have a direct answer, I have not had an interaction with the candidate we have fielded. A candidate we can field against opposition in the city should be a candidate from NRM in the caliber of Tinka Semire Barnabas, Siyo de Rasech Kubo, Muhammad Nsereko. Those can easily win. Even can beat him up. Because for me, I think the people of Kampala, they are looking for a serious representative. And even if we very well know that NRM has been demonized to be given the name. Everywhere they see NRM, they think this is Museveni.
No, this is Zakayo.
Museveni is equivalent to all the problems the Kampala young people are going through. And they do not see him as having any solution to their problems. So even our candidate who would be fielded in that place will face that challenge. of course, fielding a candidate similar to us would have an edge in Kampala. But this lady is a first-time candidate for us in this place. And
no, you can continue.
She's going through a by-election. In a by-election, anything can happen. Let's go to the debate. She may do well in the campaigns and beat them. And we are also going to tell the people of Kawempe North that don't be hoodwinked by political parties. This lady in yellow may be the solution to your problems, may be a perfect match for the late Segirinya, because they love the Segirinya, and because they want service delivery, and I think she's ready for that. She's ready for that. It is a short time. We will plead that they test her. They test her. After all, you have seen NUP. Their issues is to bounce around and cause few chaos in Kampala. Not much.
He said, Muwanga Kivumbi said you haven't seen the A game, that campaigning during COVID and its restrictions did not give NUP chance to showcase its A game.
In Kampala?
No, across the country.
Across the country. In Uganda, I will agree with you, but in our place, younger people are only hurt in the circumstances that you hurt their own, but ordinarily in our place they are NRM. So if you think in the whole country you are going to have a show, don't overestimate your size.
There was an expectation.
And remember, even in Kampala, even in Uganda, you like it or not, particularly NRM headed by Museveni, because in most cases it is the contest at that level. President Museveni has had a good will from the public. He makes mistakes, they accept him. This is why he has sold the DP. This man, you were crucifying him for nothing. What would he do when the party president is our minister? Can we allow that? Can we allow a party president who is our minister to field the candidate against us? How? That's why he's telling I have seen people with flyers on our platform. Yes, indeed. There should be people with flyers. We call them spam messages. Treat them as spam messages. We are in a serious partnership with the DP. And we would want to see that partnership respected. We rally every supporter of DP to go behind the NRM candidate.
You know, Honorable Tikazimire is also a nice guy. Towards the election, is very NRM and
No. Every day I'm NRM. Every day I'm NRM.
And after
it does not stop me even on this platform to tell President Museveni that here you are wrong. For instance, imprisoning Besigye, he's very wrong 100%. I am telling him. That does not make me DP, does not make me NUP. I remain NRM. You get me?
There was an expectation.
I am convinced.
Honorable Tinkasimire, there was an expectation that the emergence of PLU and its targeting of the same fan base or support base of NUP, that you would see it more prominent in a contestation like we are seeing in Kawempe North.
No, PLU just denied NRM opportunity to think right. We thought they were doing serious work for us. No, these are just masquerading on something we do not understand. And in Kampala, we are going to be shocked if we think PLU will work for us. Even in the countryside, because they postured, the type of candidate they were posturing to carry. If they had carried another person altogether, maybe we would have an edge. But the posturing with respectfully with the CDF, our current CDF, I don't think that he's giving us a mileage. He can only give us a mileage in bringing the soldiers, in bringing the commandos to handle the Kivumbis, to handle DP, to make sure that they stick to the partnership we have had with them. Anyone who wants to get that one, he can comfortably deal with it. But to say that he is going to deal with this politics that requires people like Tinka Simere Barnabas, that require the thinking of Amama Mbabazi, of no, and that is what the people of Kampala want. They want an engagement that will prepare, qualitatively, yes, they start saying, I think this NRM person can even beat Noop.
So, you read this as a dry run to the general election, would you? Are some people doing?
Not really.
Not really.
Not really.
Well, a dry run?
No. And I'm going to disprove, we are going to disprove Muwanga Kivumbi. That Kawempe,
he's given you 30%.
Is not a microcosm.
Okay.
Is not a is not a microcosm of Uganda. And I agree with Tinka Simere, Honorable. Young people generally and different constituencies, particularly in urban areas, go through different strains. And with the NRM people, they seem to see that we are not providing the solutions they want, or at least not in the time frame they expect. And so they need a different type of engagement. That discussion is going on in the NRM Secretariat, is going on in the NRM caucus and the district places. It's going on. How do we change the political gear to make NRM be loved again throughout the country, particularly in areas that had hitherto supported President Museveni and NRM. And up to now, they don't have real, genuine reason why not to. It is the failure of our internal issues, malfeasance in the NRM Secretariat and the government. And I think we shall sort that out. But let me go to this Kawempe. General Kawempe has been a DP stronghold.
Or used to be.
Has been since the 80s. The elections that brought back UPC. When we went to NRSC, it returned a former member of parliament, Haji Ali Seru Njoji. In CA, it did the same. It was around the 6th parliament, 1996, when Semogre was defeated and DP officially boycotted the elections. That was when the NRM found some small chance to win part of Kawempe. Kawempe returned the late Medi Kagwa. After that, when DP came back into the mainstream in 2001, with the reform agenda of BSG, DP took back and has been like that since we returned to multi-party politics in 2006. And I'm therefore shocked with the vice president of DP, Honorable Mukasa, Mbidde, doctor, that he's not bothered that the seats that had been theirs, he's now just donating, he has surrendered. And yet in other places, they are fielding candidates, even in the by-elections.
Our role is to bother you.
But what do you want him to do?
So, so I am surprised that the vice president of the DP is saying they are not bothered. They are not bothered to try and regain a seat they lost only 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago to Noob. But that's your choice. Now, NRM has been fielding.
Did he say he's not bothered?
From his submission, those are my words. Yes. From my submission, I read a vice president of the national party who's not bothered, that they recently lost a stronghold.
I wish they could
so, but NRM has been fielding candidates in all constituencies and in all by-elections, even where we think we have a slim chance to win. Why? We are a national party. Yes. We want to have a presence. And through practice, we have been winning, we have been incrementally winning areas that we had never won before, or we had previously lost. We lost the whole of Western Nile, except in the area. But we didn't give up. Today, we are winning 80% of West Nile, both at parliamentary, local government, and presidential. We never used to win at all in Acholi. When we started multi-party politics, when we actually politics in election in 2001, 1996, we only won 13% in Acholi. But today, we are 70% vis-a-vis FDC. We never used to win Teso. We won Teso at, I think, at 21% in 1996. 1996, that Teso region voted Semugerere. But today, it is almost 100%. We never gave up.
1996, it voted Semogere.
Yes.
2001, it voted Besigye. 2006, voted Besigye.
We started winning in 2011. Today, we are at 90%. With the recent appointments, I don't want to mention, with the recent appointments, including the one we have just discussed here, Bank of Uganda, I think NRM has a strong stand into sub-region. But let me just talk about Kawempe. We only won Kawempe in the 6th Parliament, and the 6th Parliament, I think. That's when Medical Gwa. After that, it has been a DP area. Why our candidate? In Kawempe North, we have had a flag bearer called John Fisher Kasenge. But his performance in 2021 was miserable. I think it was at 30% or even less. Through consultations and harmonization, the NRM agreed, the NRM fraternity, all the 6 who had tried to come up, agreed that Nambi, who was our NRM flag candidate for Kampala Woman MP, transfers to Kawempe.
Well, she has not been a resident.
She's a resident. Her husband is actually born there. They are residents there. They have 2 homes. Her husband is born there. But that shouldn't bother you. In the campaign of 2021, that Kawempe division, and particularly Kawempe North, gave her the highest votes by constituency in the whole of Kampala. That partly informed the reason why she has been shifted there. She has shifted there. She has a higher chance of getting more votes in Kawempe. And I agree with Honorable Tinka Simire on 2 fronts. That if Kampala voters want to hear the voice of the Tinka Simiris, the Theodore Sechikubo, the Mohammed Iserego, the NRM secretary is listening, it should send them in the task force to campaign for the NRM candidate. And I can assure you, we stand a high chance of giving these guys a run for their money and possibly win, especially that she's a woman and also the dominant religion in that area. Women generally are known to support NRM and President Museveni, and I think that's an important factor. Honorable Muwanga Kivumbi is talking about the youth people. NUP is not the only party which has youths. NRM has youths. If you look at the parliament where they are, about 73% of NRM MPs of the 10th parliament didn't come back. The Tinka Similes are just about 27% of the NRM MPs who came back. And if you look at the age group of the NRM MPs who swept away the MPs of the 10th parliament, they are young people. They are people of 42 years and below. And therefore, you threatening us that you are going to show us fire of young people of the real campaign. Yes, maybe in Buganda, but even in Buganda, we are putting you on notice. We are going to roll with you in this Buganda as we have done elsewhere. So therefore, Kawempe is not a dry run for the 2026 general election.
But let me ask you.
It's not a dry run.
Is saying, you know, that they are going to field a candidate who, and the template is Tinka Simire.
Didn't say template.
Yeah, that you are going to field those who would wish to campaign there will be the likes of Tinka Simire. And you are saying because of the dynamics on the ground. But you are saying it's not a dry run. That's a contradiction.
I'm saying it's not a dry run in the sense that Kawempe doesn't mirror, and it's not going to mirror the national election
First of all,
2026. It's not going to
let me tell you the politics.
So it's going to be another typical by-election?
It's just a no ordinary by-election.
It's an admission. It's an admission. Why they don't want to say it's a dry run is because inherently they know is that they can only fight to improve a margin, but not to win in Kawempe. Two, I'd like to educate a little bit my senior here. As Honorable Mbidde said, DP of 1980, DP of Kawanga Semogerere was the vanguard party for the opposition. Yes. And therefore, all opposition-leaning constituencies inherently voted DP. That's why you would see Teso votes Semogerere, and in another election, it votes Besigye.
Let's build
his point. Let him build his point before.
There has never been a DP stronghold.
And Teso was UPC.
Why they voted for Semogere in 1996?
Yes.
Because UPC allied with
exactly.
Semogere.
You are speaking the same language with me.
So please.
My bone of contention is that the people of Uganda are only having two divisions. Yes. Two dividing lines. Very clear line. Those that support the status quo, yes, and those that want to change. And any candidate anywhere that does not reflect that dichotomy, the only reason is NRM. It's not that he believes in the philosophy of NRM. He is NRM because his constituency, that divide, is leaning towards Museveni. Now, if it wasn't leaning towards, he fears if he went against Museveni, maybe he will not come back.
But is that record accurate? Hold it a moment. If you look at previous elections, 1996, Paul Kawanga Semogere is the candidate for presidency.
Yeah.
In these areas, he performs fairly well. NRM was still a bit strong. 2001, Dr. Kizza Besigye emerges on the scene. Dr. Kizza Besigye is able to win, but DP remains dominant.
No.
I'm saying at parliament level.
At local
yes, at parliament
level.
level. Yes. Yes. Why? What explains that?
You see,
the same, hold it a moment. The same is repeated in 2006, repeated in 2011.
Yes.
Until Robert Sentamu Kyagulanyi emerges with NUP in 2021, you see a shift and DP thrown out.
The shift is explained by the politics of disunity. Number one. Number two, we didn't have, because there was this. Now, like Honorable Muwanga has been explaining, at all times the dichotomy has been there. One, those for and those against. Now, the 2021 election, the dichotomy now came in the form of a political party. And people ticked that symbol. I know, by the way, even in 2006, when Dr. Besigye came in so strong that Lianda Komakechi lost an election to Penyito. But people came celebrating, we have given you, we just ticked the key. because people at that time ticked that symbol. It was the overriding symbol. Now the overriding symbol here was an umbrella.
No. I will give you an example.
Yes.
In Muwanga North, a Kampala constituency, these film people in Chibanda,
yes,
stood for a councillorship. Never campaigned anywhere.
Yes.
He was there in his Chibanda. They said, man, you've won.
You have won.
In the same Jewish constituency, there is a lady who had to put up posters after winning.
The question I'm asking,
so that the people get to know this is the person they elected.
The argument you gentlemen are making, the argument you two gentlemen are making is that there is that dividing line.
Yes.
There is a fundamental departure of that dividing line between the presidential candidate and the other candidates for other positions. The only difference was in 2021.
No.
When at the presidential level...
This is wrong.
Why?
The only reason why FDC has been the major leading party in parliament was because it had the vanguard candidate
Yes.
for change.
Not in Buganda?
No, I'm giving you
Was that
when
in Buganda?
NUP had the candidate, it produced a majority in the opposition in parliament. That one you can't dispute. Therefore, for you are imagining, you see, the people in opposition, for example, after voting a presidential candidate, on the same day, they will look around and say, in the opposition ranks, we think this candidate of DP is a better for our. They will ignore even a candidate of the in some constituencies.
Let's go back. Let's go back to 2011, for example.
Why was it a general rule in 2021?
Now, in
that they
2021,
voted for
2021, I'll give you.
presidential candidate, but they also voted
No, in-
overwhelmingly for
No, that
no
is not
members of
true.
parliament.
For
Why?
example, in Chira municipality, where Honorable Semju comes
I'm talking
from.
about the dominant- the dominant
I'm
feature.
giving an example of Kira municipality. Semju was running against a brother of Chagulai and an official candidate of NUP. Kira municipality is as good as Maigere. Semju literally won on every polling station in Kira municipality because he had demonstrated that he was the real candidate that represents. The same people would vote in one table and go on the other table, vote Semju, vote Chagwani overwhelmingly.
It wasn't the brand of the individual?
No. Call it a brand of the individual. Call it a brand of
Honorable Muwanga, we are talking about the dominant feature in that election in the area called Buganda. Semju's win was an exception because in the majority constituencies in Buganda, the voters were voting for NUP presidential candidate and automatically also voting for NUP presidential parliamentary candidate and other lower in the subsequent elections. Semju and one or two people were the exception.
Yes.
Including Rutamaguzi.
You see, that's why I've explained. That's why I've explained. No, that's why I've explained it to you that when you draw the line, voters, and that's why you don't stand a chance on planet Earth in Kawempe. And I don't want you to get upset, Bwana Tinka.
No.
Even if they put you as the campaign manager of this lady, of this lady, and they put you as the campaign manager, the people will even laugh at you. Say, Tinka, we think you were clever. You are this stupid. You go and campaign there. The very people
Don't
praise
demonize,
you.
don't demonize us.
No, I'm telling you.
We have had times when NRM
I
has
want
won
to
in Kampala.
you compose yourself, Sechikubo and Sereko, and you try yourself. The people in Kawempe will say, we have never known you are not this clever. You try it out.
Semju can win. An NRM, a superb NRM candidate can win.
Change the constituency.
On individual
But really, are we saying that somebody winning in a general election is the same as winning in a by-election? Because we have made a difference. We have just been telling the public that there is a difference between a general election
And a by-election.
and a by-election. And we know the very reason why NRM has been vehemently resisting primary elections. By-elections. Why judges have never given a by-election to any constituency, except God. God is the one who has now determined this. So let me tell you, it is because there is a fear that this is going to generate
That the
difference
by-elections in the last year
that
were
runs
dry
into
run.
the national election.
That's why.
So you're saying this is a dry run?
Yes.
That's your view?
Yes.
Laban in Chitagata says, congratulations to my Professor Nwagaba. I believe he's capable of stabilizing our economy. And he says this Laban man is an alumni to Kivumbi, was a minister under Mbidde. Mbidde was opposition. For him, he was NRM, but you worked well together.
Yes.
And he says, so Kawempe North.
Mbidde is working with NRM.
Why do you think so?
For me, these people promise all the time that we are going to defeat President Museveni. They forget that he has, to be very honest, to Ugandans. President Museveni, because of participating in the Ruwero War, whether he killed the people there or not, whether he's developed a place or not, when he came to power, people got what we call a resemblance of sleeping. Sleeping is very important to a human being, if you didn't know. In the process, even when he makes mistakes, people, because of the goodwill, people forgive him and they consider him to be the best. Ordinarily, when you start using a Kawempe, that we are going to show you, on that day, remember, Kawempe has been represented by Inup. We are going there with little hope, but we can make it. I have told you, our candidate can shiver yours in terms of debate, in terms of mobilization.
Have you ever had a debate?
Huh? No, don't underrate her. Don't underrate her. Concentrate on your candidate. I am telling you, you are going to see. You are going to see our candidate. You know, floor your candidate in a serious debate. I know senior counsel Narukola. Is he called the Narukola?
Narukola. But I can tell you, there is going to be no debate.
No debate.
No way.
Okay, we may not allow because
a debate?
of the little time.
Hold a moment.
Little time.
National Unity Platform demonstrated that a debate works in picking out, sieving out who is the best candidate.
Yes.
Do you think that a joint candidates debate, once the nomination are closed, should be held?
No. Let me tell you.
But all
the role, if Mr. Opondo,
well, he participated in one.
No,
the role
the second
of
debate.
the current, the member of parliament that will be elected in Kawempe North is going to have nothing to do with the parliament.
And speaking good English.
And speaking good English and debating and the issues and the policy. It is going to be about establishing a lieutenant for that party for the coming election. It has nothing.
That's why
and whoever is expecting a debate on what they are going to do for the people and
should there be?
Yes.
Ideally, should there be?
No, now it is no longer important. Because we have an election we are heading for.
Let me help you. In Kawempe, you are going to have NRM trying to find, they call it, to find the 14, okay?
To find its feet.
Its feet in Kawempe. Vis-a-vis the opposition, which is on the march. So that's the election.
Yeah, but
we are on the march.
We
You will not.
We can stop the match. I can promise you, NRM can stop your match.
And that again.
So we will be trying to find your 14. We are on the march.
If NRM can stop your match.
If they can stop the match. In fact, any attempt to stop the match qualifies that election as a dry run.
That's a dry run.
Clearly, that is what we are looking at.
For our viewers, we actually running concurrently on the Afro mobile app. So those who do not have to bother with a big screen of a TV, you can be following us on your phone. And there are many people who do follow-ups on their phones, including the Bishop of Rwenzori Diocese, watches us sometimes on Afro mobile. And but at some moment, we will cross the last part of this discussion purely to Afro mobile.
Yes. Just now, Tinka is saying, is coming, is that maybe now it is not a part of trying to find the footing, it is the part of trying to stop the match.
Yes.
I'm not sure that's what he said, but
which exemplifies what will happen.
We are in a contest to win.
No way.
It's a problem of
We are in a contest to win.
This is a
And these people, they should not annoy us because we can pull all our energies
All the devils
into
of the
Kawempe.
state.
And all the types of politics, and you will run away.
You come. You come. Actually, in Kawempe, you are welcome.
The problem of
No, in the Kawempe, are you proud of
Barnabas, could you, Honorable Barnabas?
Easy.
Honorable Tinka Simir, can you allow?
In the Kawempe South.
Can you allow?
Can he authoritatively say he's very proud? We can deal with you. Don't joke with us.
Can we allow to? Are you threatening or warning? But let's have come in.
See, the problem of being superficial in analysis, you lead this debate to nowhere. I understand Honorable Tinka Simira when he says we can stop the match. He's simply saying it is possible for us to turn this election upside down on the issues, and people will agree with us. Why?
Yes.
Look, first of all, you came as a wave. Many of you were turncoats who couldn't have been elected in your constituencies on DP ticket. That's why you ran behind the Chagulanyi. Since 4 years ago, what has been your performance in Parliament and in the local councils that you control? We now have things we can tick and cross where you have performed below what the expectation of voters in Kawempe.
Actually, in Kampala.
In Kampala. And the other constituencies. Two.
Honorable Semuju.
What are the internal...
Still looks to be the face of opposition.
Yes.
And he is not from NUP.
Yes. What are the internal rumblings in NUP and other opposition parties that NRM can take advantage of in this by-election? For example, we can now demonstrate that Honorable Mukasa Mbidde has surrendered, and therefore
we have their supporters.
His constituency of DP is now a battleground.
Yes.
Between NUP and the NRM.
Yes.
Yes.
And even then, remember they have very many candidates whom they threw away, and they are participating as a candidate. That's why I told you politically we
while you may praise how you arrived at Narokora, who's a turncoat from only 3-4 months ago, he was the legal officer of Mukasa Mbidde in DP. Yeah. We can say you have short-changed the foot soldiers of NUP. Now you are even threatening them. You have just threatened them on this show that whoever dares to go against NUP position, even if he feels aggrieved, you run the risk that NRM ran when we tried to dismiss the Tika Simeris and the Sechkubu and the Niwagabans. The voters, NRM voters in their constituencies, have consistently disagreed with the NRM secretarial position of attempting to expel them and have returned them. So your threat to NUP candidates who have disagreed, who are aggrieved with the way you arrived at Narokora, could actually turn your election on top of its head.
Actually, the people of Kawempe will punish.
Well, that's what you think. Yeah, that's what you think. That's what you think. Because
this is about
because the
same line with these constituencies.
Because the politics of
are running against
the politics of the day.
Your analysis is
the politics of the day in Uganda across the board is that the voters want to have a leeway. They don't want the leaders to be the one to dictate to them. Yes, you can guide, but they don't want the leaders to dictate to them, especially with crude threat. You don't come from Kawempe, you come from Butambara. And let me tell you, my brother, Muwanga Kivumbi.
Which crude threat?
The one you have just issued.
I've just said the party will have
Muwanga Kivumbi, as much as he doesn't come from Kawempe,
even
he has very good connections.
No, even in
one of his sisters lives in that place.
No, but even in his own Butambara, he's telling us that it's a dry run. Yes, take it as a dry run. We are not taking it as a dry run. Muwanga Kivumbi, next election we can actually pin you in Butambara in such a way that you will have no way to wiggle out of Butambara. You will simply be trying to save yourself to come back to Parliament. And that...
You are struggling to even find an NRM candidate. You don't even have anybody. How decaying NRM has become in Butambala. No one is willing to pick up your ticket.
We are going to pin you.
I can even tell you in Butambala, no one is willing to pick up an NRM ticket. The NRM ticket. And now say we are independent.
You will not even find opportunity, room to come to Tororo to try to sell your NUP there. You will not find time to come to Muranda. You will not find time to go to Tika Simeris constituency.
That is your wish.
And my wish,
yes.
That can also be a plan. And I can tell you,
you not execute it.
NRM has done that multiple times, and it is the reason NRM is dominant. We win the
How does
presidency.
NRM do it?
We win the president. No. First of all, NRM fields candidates in every constituency.
Yes.